Hello, welcome to NAPCO Video Tech Tips. This is Tom. Today I'm going to be doing a video on the NAPCO ComNet Manage User Utility, which is a new utility that we put into the ComNet. What it enables you to do is instead of giving the keys to the kingdom per se, your admin and your user information for the company, you can create users to do different things. So what I'm going to do first is we did do a little PDF on this, and I'm just going to go through it a little bit. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will go through the key ones, and then you can pause the video and view it at your leisure. So you have manage users, so you can create different users. You have locations, so you can create locations for those users if you wanted to be able to do specific locations for certain users. You have your admin privileges. So the super admin is the one that you created the account with, typically your phone number, your company phone number, and the password. And then you have your admin user. So you can create with a super user. These can only be created with super users. You can create an admin user to be able to create other users and have certain things available to them. You have your system users, so you can have certain system users. Now you manage user authority level assignment, so this is where you're going to put in your users. So you have your user ID, your password. Now the passwords do have to have a capital letter and a special character letter in them, just to let you know. And then you have confirm password, name, email address. You have your different authority levels that you can assign to each individual user. These are the authority levels. So you have your view units authority, so ComNet view unit only access. And then you have add unit authority, so the authority to create new subscriber accounts and devices. Change unit authority allows ComNet permissions to replace a device for a customer, such as if you had sunset or if there was something wrong with the radio. Suspend and activate authority allows system user to suspend or restore subscriber accounts. Order status typically given to the accounting personnel. Website authority allows access to the NAPCO NOC, typically given to technicians who need to query and configure devices. Manage users, admin authority, so allows the manager to add a ComNet to the NAPCO NOC. Users assigned to specific locations and special privileges. And then you have your user active. So this is the way that you can disable or enable a user. If you turn it off, then basically you disabled that user. Then you have manage locations. So you would have to go in and you would have to set up multiple locations. If you have, an office that has locations all over the place, you would have to do individual locations. And these are just examples of different things that you can do. So territory installation manager, and again, I'm not going to read through the whole thing. You had manage users, so you created your manage locations, so you created your locations. Then you have your manage users. Different authority levels that you want for that person. And then an account creation supervisor. This is what they'll be able to do. Okay, so let's go to it and go to the site. So again, in order to start this whole process, you have to log in with your super admin. And then you'll have a couple of new tabs in there. So you have manage users, manage locations. So what you want to do first is you want to go into manage locations. And if you only have one location, then you just have to create one location. But if you have multiple locations, you're going to have to create the different locations in this manage location area so you can assign whomever you add to the system to be able to go into either all locations or specific locations. And if you want to add a location, you just go in there and you can name it whatever you want, and then type in this, whatever new area that you're going into, and then you just hit save record and it will automatically add it. Then you would have to go into manage users. Okay, I went in there and created some users because it does take 15 minutes to go through all this process for it to filter through the system. So to save a little bit of time, I just created some. So Bill Smith is user ID, password. Okay, pretty much can go to any of the selected areas that I created in the manage locations. If I wanted to get rid of one of them, I would just uncheck it and apply. They have full authority to do pretty much anything. So if I go out and I sign off and I go back in with Bill, you can see Bill is pretty much going to have the ability to do pretty much anything. Add device, go into my subscribers, view all the radios that they have in that location, manage users. They can go in and create users too. Now, one thing I want to mention too is these radios. You do have to go into each individual radio and you do have to select the area for that individual radio. So this one's New York, New York. This one's Connecticut. This one's Florida. This one's Baltimore, North Carolina, and Georgia. So as a super user, you would log back in there. And Bill could probably do this too. You would go into my subscribers, and then you would go into each individual radio. So if I click on the radio number, it's going to have all the information in there. If it's not assigned, it's going to come up with this. If it has none, when Bill logs in, he's not going to be able to see this radio. So you do have to select the area for it. And then if you go into another radio, let's say Connecticut, same thing. Got the information in there, but you have to assign it to an area. Again, drop down. And these are just going to be the ones that you created in your manage user section, the manage location section. And then you just would have to do that for all your radios. Moving forward, when you add a radio or when administrators have the ability to add radios, they would have to do the same thing, because if you go into and set up a tech to be able to upload and download, they have to be able to go in there and have the ability to connect to those radios. So if I go back into manage users again, I had created by adding, add a code in there, username, password, and then assign different areas that they can go into. Now, this one that I just created before in the TechTom, they just have the ability to go in and view, through the NOC, and also be able to upload and download, and only in New York and Georgia. So I can change that by adding locations if I wanted to and changing it right here. If I want to get rid of this user, I just click the user active and apply, and it puts it in the deactivated folder. then I just had a couple more in there. John Davis, he can only go into certain areas. Website authority, so they can go into the website. User authority. And then any deactivated users are just going to show up in here. And there's no limit to how many active users or deactivated users you can have, or admins or anything like that, or locations. So you can really get pretty flexible with this. So you have managed users, you have managed locations, and then you have subscribers where you have to assign the radios to the specific areas that anyone wants to be able to make changes to or connect to. Now, as far as the tech, so if you look at Tech Tom, okay, Bill Smith is going to be able to do anything. He's got everything, but Tech Tom can only go in there and upload and download and view signals. So if we log out of here, or close this down, go into the quick loader software. Okay, you can set this up before you give them the computer. You can have them set it up, but you do have to go into File, Dealer Settings, Starlink Defaults, and you have to put the dealer ID and the password in this location in order for them to be able to upload and download. Also, one other thing, very important, if you go to the Help menu and you go to About Quick Loader for Windows, you do need 6.46 software, Quick Loader for Windows 6.46. It's on our website now. It will not work. This will not work with any other lower version. So they will have to upgrade to 6.46. Very important. And the way you find that is you just go to Help, you go to About Quick Loader for Windows, and it's going to give you the version number right here. And at that point, they can just go into any account and they can upload, download, view status, view the event log, just like they were connected locally. But they can go through the radios. Now, another thing too is if they go into the NAPCO NOC, they just log in. And now they have the ability to get into the NOC, view signals. So if I want to go into, let's say, radio 849-4836, I just push that in. That's in his territory. And then this is calls equipment in Georgia. That's part of his territory. That's what we selected in the manage user selection and the locations. And then they can pretty much do anything that they want in here. They can go into the signal log, view the signals, see what's going on with the past signals, check-ins, what's the status of the radio, trouble status, any diagnostic issues, what is the signal strength, how many blinks does it have, and then they can go in there and change the phone numbers just like they could, if they were calling into you guys and having you guys do it. So going into here, it gives a lot of flexibility with creating all this. The key is that you are not giving everyone your super admin password. So if anything happens, you don't have to worry about, someone trying to do something that you don't want them to do. You can create the users and keep your user super admin password to yourself. So thanks for visiting NAPCO Video Tech Tips. Have a good day.